It seems that some days I have far greater amounts of self-discipline than others. And today, and recently, it feels like it's been one of those times where I'm kind of lacking in the self-discipline department. But the reality is I know that I am a super high achiever. And I always feel much better about myself when I am doing a lot, achieving a great amount. I suppose that the problem starts to come in where I am attempting to put more on my to-do list than what's reasonable for me to actually achieve. And right now, I'm in a season where I'm currently in week 3 of a 4-week coaching program where I'm teaching 20 students how to successfully launch a podcast. And that alone, just serving 20 students a week, Monday through Friday for 4 weeks, that alone is enough to completely fill my schedule with lots of productive and valuable work that I actually enjoy. But here's the deal. There are so many other things that I'd like to do. And there are a few other things that I really should do during these 4 weeks as well. And I'm sort of one of those all or nothing types of guys. And as a result of that, I've already made it a point that when I am planning out my day, I try to make it a point to not include too many expected goals as far as things that I should accomplish today. But even if my to-do list for the day says A to Z, inbox 0, which means I've answered all the questions that have come in from my students today, if there's just one or even 2 other things that are on that task list and I don't get to them, that kind of eats at me. One of those things that I should be doing, I should have already started the complete reworking of my sales page for my next level workshop over at podcastanswerman.com/next level workshop. And the crazy part is that this whiteboard behind me, it has the complete layout of everything that I want to communicate on that new sales page. The work is practically done for me. But here's what's happened. I come in, I start my workday at 10 a.m. after putting my workouts and physical activity first and foremost, which is as it should be. And then I come in at 10 o'clock and I figure I'm going to answer questions and I'm going to get them done, halfway through the day. I'll have lunch, maybe have another question or 2 to answer, and then I can start working on this project, whatever that project may be. In this case, creating the new version of my sales page for the Next Level Workshop. And hear me out. I'm not complaining at all. I have 20 students. That's 20 individuals who are looking to successfully launch their podcast by the end of this course. And they will do so if that's their goal. I'm committed to that outcome, and I've never failed to deliver on that expectation yet. And with 20 students, well, recently it's been pretty much taking my entire day from 10 a.m. until I leave this office at 5 p.m. The entire day has been filled with answering questions. As a result of that, I've not been able to work on that sales page, plus a few other projects that have been on my to-do list during the past 2 weeks. Now you might be thinking, Cliff, why are you continuing to do podcasting A to Z with 20 students if you know that this is an outcome that occasionally happens to you? And the reason why? Well, first of all, I love helping students. And when I can get a complete, full, sold-out session of podcasting A to Z with 20 students who have each paid me $2,000 a piece, you can do the math on that. Well, that takes care of a lot of income need within my business. And it gives me more margin in other areas of my year. Meaning that there are times throughout the year where I'll have more free time to work on other projects. Part of what I'm saying is that due to the fact that I have 20 students who have paid to take this session of podcasting A to Z, well, that partly means that I've already sold enough registrations for my next level workshop in August that if nobody else purchased, it's not that big of a deal financially. Now, I would still love to have 12 people registered for this next session of the Next Level Workshop. But with that being said, I know that there are already 6 people who are registered, And if it's just 6 people, then it's going to be amazing. A smaller group means that I can give more focused attention on the needs of those 6 people. But there's also added benefit, not financially for me, although yeah, that's true as well if I sell all 12 spots. But there's also the added benefit of having 12 spots for the people who attend, because there's a bigger small group for them to network within. So I'm tossed up between the benefits of having the small group of 6 and not needing the additional income, but the desire to provide a full sold out next level workshop with 12 people. But then I have to get really honest with you. And the fact is that do I really have no time throughout my workday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. to create that new version of the sales page? If I'm honest with myself and I evaluate my self-discipline and my priorities, the reality is I have plenty of time throughout my workday to do those things. Not just the sales page, but also the other projects that have been on my to-do list that I haven't accomplished before I leave my office at the end of the day. You see, I've allowed myself to tell myself the story that because I have 20 students, it's literally taking up all of my time throughout my day answering all of their questions. But it's not true. It is absolutely not true. But I've convinced myself, or I had convinced myself, that it was true. And here's why it's not true and how I can prove it. This vlog. The reality is that I've been spending all of my free time in between answering questions, researching things for my new camera setup, or even recording. Yesterday, I spent all of my free time recording vlog episode number 102. Did I have time for that? I made time for it. I put it on my to-do list, even though it wasn't officially written down as something that I should have accomplished yesterday. And so what's happened is I really have had margin throughout my work week in answering all of these student questions. But the problem that I face is that because all of those other projects don't absolutely have to be done, I've been doing things that I've wanted to do more than those projects. And that, for me, has been playing around with this vlog. And what that means is that I'm currently experiencing a season where I have less self-discipline than I normally would at this stage in my life. I've been telling myself, hey, I don't need to get that done today. I can work on the sales page and that other project this weekend. I've got all day Saturday, all day Sunday. But after a week of answering all those questions throughout the week and doing all this other stuff, researching my vlog and taking things to the next level and getting super excited, I'm like, at the end of the week, I'm like, okay, I don't want to do anything. It's the weekend. I work for myself. I should be able to take the weekend off. No big deal. And I can. And those, again, those projects, guess what? The problem is there's no deadline. They don't have to be done. I could get by with doing nothing for any of the projects that I've had on my to-do list recently. And if I didn't do anything, it's not going to affect the end result of my financial income for the rest of this year. I mean, yeah, it could account for maybe a blip here and there, but overall, I have this freedom and margin to where I don't need to do these projects, but I really feel like they should be done. And because I feel like they should be done, then all of a sudden I feel this pressure. And when I feel this pressure on myself because I'm a high achiever and I'm not achieving the things that I think that I really should do, but I don't have to do, I start to feel like, oh, man, I'm just not performing well. Do you ever feel that way? The one thing I know, though, is that I do a lot. And if I sit back and allow myself to reflect on all the things that I have accomplished over the past 2.5 weeks, I've really accomplished a lot. In fact, I do more than what most people do throughout their work week anyway. When I think about the amount of content that I've produced, newsletters are booked for a couple weeks in advance, podcast is up to date, answering all these questions. Plus, I've been creating brand new video vlog content that has been taken to a whole new level. I'm learning new, exciting things that I believe is taking my message to a completely different audience and having a powerful means of communication beyond what I was doing previously with video. man, that is amazing. And this, by the way, what I'm doing right now is going to serve me and my business and future clients and students in an amazing way moving forward based upon the things that I'm learning and have learned by playing around with all of this stuff throughout my workday in between answering all those questions when I technically feel like I should be doing some of those other projects. I guess the purpose of this vlog today is just to say that, hey, I don't always have my act together. I don't always do everything that I feel like I should be doing. And there are times when I get a little overwhelmed when I'm not achieving at the level I feel like I want to achieve. But when I sit back and reflect and realize the fact that, you know what? I work for myself. I can completely erase anything I want off of my schedule. I choose every single day what it is that I work on, and that is an incredible amount of freedom. Now, that freedom can allow you to make some bad decisions if your undisciplined nature gets like way out of control. But I know this. I am a very self-disciplined person, and I know that if something has to get done, then I am not going to rest until it is done. And the fact that I have been resting a lot, I've been watching Star Trek: The Next Generation during the evenings, I've been watching a marathon of Star Trek: The Next Generation on the weekends. The fact that I have experienced a lot of rest in spite of all the other things that I feel like I'm not getting done, the fact that I've been resting tells me this. I needed to rest. And it's okay. And you know what? I might feel like I'm in a season where I am less self-disciplined than normal, but I think what I'm doing is I'm just experiencing the freedom of what it means to be able to create your own schedule and not necessarily have to do all the things that don't have to get done right now. I've heard this one principle from my friend Michael Stelzner. He said that there's this book where it's talking about procrastinating on purpose. And I find that I often will do that. I'll wait until something has to be done to generate a very significant result. And then when there's that kind of pressure or deadline, that's when I perform well. That's when I perform at my best. So anyway, I don't know really what the message is here. Am I living in a season of a lack of self-discipline? Or am I just getting caught up in the excitement of learning something new and I have the freedom and margin to do so, and that's the exciting message? I don't know. But one thing I do know is there are two more questions that have come in since I started creating all of this vlog content. I'm going to go answer those questions. Then I have a green room mastermind call today. And then after that, I'm going to go have some lunch. And who knows, this afternoon, I may actually go and sit in front of that whiteboard with my laptop, and I might sit down and create that new version of my sales page today. I might. We'll see. I want to thank you for watching this video. If you've been enjoying the content that I've been putting here on YouTube, be sure that you hit that subscribe button. And of course, if you're already subscribed, please leave me a comment below this video. Let me know what your thoughts are. I would love to interact with you there. Until next time, my friends, I encourage you to take everything you do to the next level.